Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, teaming up with SG1 Sports to bring you Big Ten previews week one, including even Illinois, as the Illini take on Akron. That game will be on the Big Ten Network at noon Eastern time on Saturday. These two programs have met once. Illinois won it, as you would expect, 38-7 back in 1996. Okay, the Zips were led for 7 seasons by Terry Bowden, the former Auburn coach who had much success on the Plains. Bowden had 2 outstanding seasons with Akron, but mostly it was a downer in the rubber capital of the world. Bowden did lead this team to a division championship in 2017, also to a bowl victory against Utah State in 2015, but otherwise, again, sub-500 play for the Akron Zips under Bowden. So he's out. Bring in Tom Arth, and hopefully for Tom Arth and company, they bring some zip to the offense. They ranked 124th in scoring last year, number 126 rushing offense. They do have a pretty capable quarterback in Cato Nelson. At least he has experience. He's got a decent touchdown-to-pick ratio, 15-8. Only 52% completion percentage, though, but he ran for about 500 yards as well. Akron, again, one of the worst rushing attacks in college football last year. Looked to Deltron Sands, a former Oregon State transfer, to boost the rushing attack, as well as their top recruit coming out of Orlando, Peter Hayes Patrick, could provide some explosiveness to the running game. The wide receivers are actually most likely the best of the units, either offensively or defensively, for Akron, led by Andre Williams at his 46 catches. The defense was actually pretty decent in 2018. Unfortunately, they lose 8 starters. Back, though, is one of the best defensive backs and safeties in the MAC, all-conference performer Alvin Davis, who had 75 tackles and 4 picks last year, and also linebacker John Alekos, who cleaned up just about everything in sight with 126 tackles. For Illinois, they are going with former Michigan quarterback Brandon Peters to start the season. Peters started most of the way for Michigan in 2017, and that was Jim Harbaugh's worst season at Michigan, 8-5. And Peters' last action with the Wolverines was a bowl loss in the Outback Bowl against South Carolina, in which they led 19-3 and then gave it up in a choke job in the fourth quarter. Price recruit Isaiah Williams most likely is the future, and it's probably just a matter of time as to when he will be ready to take over at quarterback. The running back position's loaded. The wide receivers are depleted, led by Ricky Smalling and his 33 catches. Much ballyhooed recruit Marquez Beeson out of Texas will be counted upon. He was the 5th-rated athlete in the recruiting class of 2019, the 17th-rated player out of Texas overall. Also, Trevon Sidney out of USC could get some playing time at wide receiver, so they're expecting Beeson and Sidney to reinforce the wide receiver core, which has been depleted. Smalling, the leader, with 33 catches from last year. The offensive line was bad last year. They bring back 4 starters. They also have a grad transfer in Richie Pettibone from Alabama. Now to the best part of the team. It's at running back with Reggie Corbin and his 1,085 yards and 9 touchdowns. Also a couple good backs in Rayvon Bonner and Mike Epstein, who combined for over 800 yards for Lovie Smith. Okay, speaking of Lovie Smith, he made his name in the NFL coaching defense, first as a coordinator, then as a head coach and leading the Chicago Bears to the Super Bowl. He's got 10 starters back on defense, but the defense was abysmal last year. It was the worst in the Big Ten, giving up over 39 points per game and 509 yards per game. Their leading tackler, Jake Hansen's back, so that's good news, but really awful news here, both on the field and, most importantly, off the field, is that junior Bobby Roundtree, who led this team with 12.5 tackles for loss and 7.5 sacks, was injured in a swimming accident in May. It was a serious spinal injury. He's not going to play football this year. More importantly, will he walk? Will he have a quality of life very soon? Bobby Roundtree, this team is playing in his honor this season. They're motivated. They're inspired by their fallen teammate. And we're going to see that be the storyline for Illinois football here in 2019. Really good cornerback comes back for the Illini in Nate Hobbs as well. All right, Illinois scores. They play bad defense. We'll see if they're much improved this year despite missing their best player. Again, based on that horrific accident, losing Bobby Roundtree. Illinois and Akron, the Illini win it, although let's not consider this a gimme. Same time last year, Kent State, who eventually went 3-9, marched into Champaign, took a 17-3 lead before the Illini had to rally for a 24-17 hard-fought win. Much could be the same against Akron, but I like the Illini winning this one at 40-24. Keep it locked in right here at SG1 Sports Big Ten Channel for more Week 1 previews.